Hello, beautiful artisans. So I hope you're having a beautiful start to your Monday. Welcome to Echo Art with Carmella-T. If you are new on board, welcome. We create with all recycled materials, fabrics, supplies, anything we can think of. It's our way of giving the earth a little hug. And if you're coming back, thank you for coming back. So the last video, which I never had happen before, someone pointed out to me, it's a lot of noise in that video. So I listened to it, and there was a lot of noise in that video. That did sound like the F-35s. They go seconds between each other, fly, fly, fly. And sometimes when I have this shut, it still will obscure my videos, but I usually catch it. Now, it's unusual. What's unusual about what they're doing is some days they're going more or less like all day. And where in the past they used to go for like a couple hours. So I may have been trying to just go through it. Now, with that said, I am going to repeat a lot of what was in that video. So we're talking about the shibori effect and stitching. So a lot of that will be repeated here. So I will leave that video up for a little bit with the note that there is some noise. And then when we're through with this project, and I'm sure people have exhausted, at least most people have exhausted their curiosity on it, then I'll just take it down because it's it's irritating. And because I had some trouble, so I might as well just tell you this too. I had some trouble with the laptop where I ran out of space. So the drive needed to be cleaned, but it needed to be cleaned in several different places because it was what they call stacking. It was stacking everything. So, to maintain, because if you do a lot of videos, let me put it this way, if you do lots of videos, what happens is your devices or your laptop or whatever you use, it gets tired, it gets full, and it needs maintenance. And so with that said, some of these clips, more recent, like that one and some of the short ones, I don't have saved. I just did my video, sent them out and deleted, so I didn't have any more storage to fill up. I didn't fill the storage up. Or if it was saved, I could mute it and then just put it to music. But I don't think I can take it down and do that. If I can and find out that's an option, I'll do that. But in the meantime, what I want to do is get this video out to you, and I'm going to put the camera down and show you I'm doing more of a shibori effect. And I'm simply doing it with needle and thread. And you can see over here, and don't let the fraying frighten you. I'm going to clip that, and that's part of the aesthetic of this. And these stitches, all in all, deter more fraying past them. That will deter the fraying. It won't go past them. And but you see the beautiful shibori movement of the fabric. And you're like, well, how did you do that? Well, if you look at this fabric, I let the fabric natural movement guide me. So right now I'm going this way, and I can see right here, this is kind of going up in a very soft little swirl. And over here, this is making a little divot. And so I follow the movement of the fabric. That's what I do. So, and now I'm going to turn this for a moment. Or maybe I don't have to. Let's see. Now, I want to show you something else. You got to be very careful when you've got a lot of fabric and you're working on it. You don't want to sew them together. You keep your hand right underneath the fabric there. But I want to pull this a little bit, and you see it emphasizes those little folds are right there. So, and you can see here in this material, right there, even though I was going horizontally, it's making beautiful, beautiful vertical folds. So anyway, there's a lot you can do with it. You know, you can choose to leave some of them like that. I'm going to do a back stitch here and I'm going to come up. Or you can leave them like that, or you can stitch right into them. So you know, and experiment. Now, it's only experimenting and doing these a number of times will give you a sense of what is going to happen when you start to do your stitching. So I'm going to come up here and here, and I'm just going to come underneath that, kind of pulling that. So I didn't really do like a running stitch. I did like a couple and then I just kind of came under, grabbing a little bit of the fabric there and what I want to do. And there's a lot of movement for me when I do this because, as you know, I like to have a very full and clear view of and the line in front of me of where my stitches are going. So I'm going to go this way with my stitches. Now I have a few needles that are threaded so we can really get an idea here of what I'm doing. So now I just kind of went underneath again, and you kind of see where it makes it nice and little swirly there. And I just give it a little tug. If I don't want the effect from that little tug, I can straighten it out. I can just straighten everything out. But I happen to want that little effect right there. And now I'm going to come back up this way. So I'm just going to turn it towards me, keeping my hand really underneath it because if I can very easily start stitching the other fabric. So I'm just simply now putting some running stitches. Now, do they have to be running stitches? No, they do not. You can use whatever stitches you want in the scheme of your design. You can put this way. You can do like I'm doing, going different ways with the stitches, or you can simply do like part of it like that and then do seed stitching. You can do however you want. Now, you see right here, this is, let's see if I can show you. This is making like a little curve right there. So I want to get that curve. I'm going to go under and I'm coming up near that little divot of a curve, and I'm going to just simply right now with little stitches, I am following that curve. So as best that I can. So I'm going to turn this way. And come up this way. Now, none of this is really, like I said, in a book. It's just the creativity that I am expressing and sharing with you to encourage your creativity, to show you the different techniques that I have explored and I have tried and that I do along the way, so that gives you a little bit of an idea of different things that you can do with your fabric stitching or your creativity. And now I'm going to go down, and then I'm just going to point those out to you in about a moment because I want you to see the difference. I'm going to bring this up. Okay, now what we just did, if you see here, this is just one wing. I kind of went around here, so I got a little pucker. You see the little pucker right there. And then when I came down here in between these, it kind of made that pucker. This is how you get your little puckers. And if you're trying to, and you see it even here, which I love this. So, if you, are trying to get a certain effect and you're like, and this happens, and you're like, oh my, I don't know if I need to go this way or that way to get the exact pucker. Go whichever way you think, because without the practice, you won't be able to see it. You won't be able to figure it out, because the fabric will move with the stitches. It will move with the tension. So you have to get used to the tension and of the stitches and the different ways that you can apply these stitches. So because like the back stitch, it locks everything up immediately. It's beautiful. And it's very quick, and you just need one tiny little back stitch. So you learn this, as you experiment with these. And that is what it is. It's kind of, experimenting, and it's seeing what works for you. So anyway, that's what I'm doing in this clip, and we're gonna do a few clips today. So let's see. I think what I'm going to do is pull this one out, and I'm going to take the green. I pre-threaded this beforehand, and I'm just gonna let this one kind of set like that for the moment. And I'm going to hold this up so you can see. And it's kind of hard but you see the effect. You see it. You see the movement there. It's lovely. Now I'm going to come over to the other side, and I just want to show you again. I want to show you the folds right off the bat. You see the folds? Okay, so I'm just going to really work with those. And there's no specific way that I am going to work with them. What I'm going to do most likely is just come up and get some running. I'm going to come up from in between this fabric and this fabric, and I'm just going to start sewing, because right along the folded pucker there, because I know that I love that. And I want it to emphasize somehow. Now, does it take a life of its own on? Yes. And unless you're going to highly manipulate it with a hoop, and you're going to have very tight, embroidery stitches, and you're going to kind of do like that. The way I'm doing it is it starts to kind of move on its own after I start the stitches. Now right here I have a little divot right there. So I'm going to come up here and just kind of, I want to get that. And by putting a little stitch there, it kind of emphasizes and holds that in place. And I'm going to go back down. I'm going to continue down here. So I went in the back, and then I'm just going to do running stitches. There are no perfect and absolutes in this. It's a creative running stitch. Now, okay, so I'm bringing you along with me in real time here. Now you see there's a little curve there, so I want to make sure I kind of get that little curve, and I'm going to do a little back stitch there, and then I'm going to come down just below it, and so I just kind of grab a little curve. Now, do you get exactly what you're looking for every time? No. But that's the beauty of this. Like I said, the fabric and the piece just starts to take a life on of its own. So now I'm going to turn this way and show you a little bit more, and make sure all of these are up like that, because If they're underneath, we'll end up sewing them. So now this is facing me. And see if you can see that. I'll hold it up so you can see it. And you see my little pucker there. So now we're just going to go right along the edge here. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to go along the edge. Now, as I'm going along the edge, I am going to stop for a moment and gather a little bit, do a back stitch because I want to hold it in place. So I'm just doing some running stitches right along the edge here. Did a back stitch just to kind of lock in some of my little gathers. Now, when you're working with a piece like this, now I want to show you this to you because you may not be able to see it. But right here, there's another fold going down this way. So I really want to get that. I don't want to forget that. So I'm going to actually turn everything around. I'm going to take the time to turn it around because I really, really want to put some stitches along this before I continue. I did a little back stitch there, and now I'm doing some running stitches, and I'm just pulling this through. Now, as you do this, like with anything else, you're going to get some layering because when you do like this Boro right here, we have 1, 2, 3 layers. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 layers here. And where the bow is, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 layers also. So, because we have the bow, and then we have this little silky white, and then we have our black floral, and then we have our green backing moss. So, anyway, right here, I am just kind of catching that little tiny fold. I want that little fold. And that's just my artistic eye saying, oh, I like that, and just kind of honing in on that. Now, if you look at this, this is turning out the way I just simply love. And so I'm just going to hold this up for you for a moment, and then I'm going to continue working on it. But look, this, you see the little pucker, okay, and here, and then all over here. That's very pretty. And then here, just a natural little pucker coming out. I love it. So anyway, that's how I'm going to continue with this particular piece. And then in the next video, we're going to be working up in the corner where we had no patch. And I'll show you the pieces that I selected to put there. So with that, we'll see you in the next one.